Fox Sports.
We are Black Hawk. We are Florida.
Glorious Sunday here in Atlanta, SunTrust Park. Final game of a three-game set, and the script in the first two. Marlins get a lead, Stanton goes deep, but the Braves come back. Official trying to put an end to that today. Hi, everybody. Rich Waltz, along with Todd Hollinsworth. Welcome to Atlanta. And for the Marlins, it's been a frustrating script. Giancarlo Stanton has been absolutely terrific, but the Marlins just can't win despite his heroics.
Well, they're going to have to get the offense going. I think that's where you start. 180 batting average in the first two games of this series. 1 for 7 with runners in scoring position. Yeah, that's without the Stanton stats. Stanton's been outstanding. He's driven in all 5 runs.
All right, let's take a look at some of his exploits, because the show has been incredible the last 2 nights.
Well, and it really speaks to where Stanton's at in his game. Listen, mechanically, he's sound. He's quiet. He's under control in the box. And he's doing it on all different types of pitches. Knuckleballs on Friday night. Last night, elevated 96-mile-an-hour fastballs. And, oh, by the way, a ringing double off the center field wall on a slider.
Now, this is just the series. 3 home runs. He's 1 away from his career high of 37. He leads Major League Baseball. But obviously, the Marlins not only need to add to him offensively, but figure out a way to get Freddie Freeman out, which has never been easy because he always seems to hurt Miami.
Well, Freddie Freeman, 5 consecutive 20-homer seasons. I'm sorry, not consecutive. It's his 5th 20-homer season. And again, last night, a 3-1 fastball away. Shows that great power to left center field. Huge 3-run home run.
And a card-carrying member of the Fish Killer Club. Big hits against the Marlins. 15 home runs, 29 multi-hit games. So, Stanton and Freeman, Marlins and Braves. On a Sunday in Atlanta, the Fish looking for a win before they head to D.C. Will Giancarlo stay in the yard, or has he got more left in him? We'll find out when we return. Is brought to you by Jeep. by the new Control GX, the first shampoo that gradually reduces gray. By your local Toyota dealers, let's go places. And by Southwest Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. Crowd still arriving here on this Sunday afternoon in Atlanta. The Braves and the Marlins for the third time. And inside SunTrust Park, different look for Don Mattingly. Southwest brings you the starting lineups. Miguel Rojas is up in that leadoff spot. Stanton still slotted second. Christian Yelich, Marcel Ozuna. JT Realmuto gets the start at first base. Derek Dietrich is at third. A.J. Ellis behind the plate. Micah Vilas is at second base for the Fish. And Jose Urena is in the 9 spot.
All right, there he is, the young man, Lucas Sims, 6'2", 220 pounds, 23 years old. Here's your Auto Nation scouting report. Homegrown talent, that's right, native of Georgia. Sims was the 21st overall selection in the 2012 draft out of high school. Made his major league debut August 1st, just a couple days ago, versus the Dodgers. 6 solid innings, 3-run ball. All right, long journey home. Bouts of wildness, a little bit inconsistent throughout his minor league career. Some decent numbers this season, really brought it all together. Gwinnett, AAA, 7-4, 3.75 ERA, 115 innings, 132 strikeouts. One thing that does stand out, he's allowed 19 home runs in AAA, so keep your eyes on that. Best pitch, knee buckling curve. It's been described as a very, very good pitch for him. He's going to lean on it. Got a fastball, slider, and change to go with it. 91, 92 miles an hour on the four-seamer.
Shows the fastball to begin for Miguel Rojas. Don Mattingly's lineup changed up. D. Gordon not in the lineup today. And Rojas takes a fastball in. Sims' second major league start, and he worked with Tyler Flowers in his first start, so Flowers is back behind the plate in this one. Pitched pretty well against a Dodger team that is just a juggernaut right now in Major League Baseball. Rojas cuts at a fastball and fouls it.
Yeah, maybe the most impressive part about that start is the no walks. Walks have been an issue for him at times throughout his career. You go back to 2016 in the minor leagues, he walked 92 batters. So again, he has the potential at times to get a little wild.
Rojas settles back in, counts 1-2. Miguel looking for his first hit of the series. And a breaking ball lifted in the air to right. Markakis charging, and he's there and makes the catch. Braves defensively today behind Lucas Sims.
And here they are, Matt Adams in left field. Inciarte is the center fielder. Markakis over in right. Phillips, Camargo, Albies, Freeman, Tyler Flowers back behind the plate along with Sims.
Brian Snitker and the Braves. It's very much like the Marlins. The Braves have had a really nice run to get to 500, and then for 3 weeks they really struggled. But here they've won 2 straight. Here is Stanton now. Ouch. Sims hits him, and that won't make Stanton real happy, nor should it. And he's on his way down to first base. And let's hope that everybody in that Miami dugout takes note.
Yeah, this is a 4-seam fastball that hits him in the back of the left thigh. I think that's about as bad a miss as you're going to get. Stanton does not stand near the plate. He stands off the plate, likes to keep his arms and get them extended. So to miss that badly this early, well, we'll see what it leads to.
Now, look, I'm not saying that Sims is throwing at Stanton.
No.
You could see where Flowers set up. He set up way in. You got a rookie pitcher up there facing a guy that's put on a gun show here for 2 nights. And Yelich takes a breaking ball in. And you're right. I mean, he was down low. Stanton didn't mind getting hit there. And that's one of the things that, in talking to Frank Menechino, that this new stance has done for Stanton. And that, remember the terrible beaning he had in 2014. With the closed stance, he's able to turn his head away, and if the pitch is in, get hit in a protected manner.
He did it right there. That's exactly what he did with his front leg. His back leg, he kind of reverse pivoted to almost get out of the way, but ends up taking it in the back of the thigh, which is okay. I mean, as you see, Stanton's over at first base, and he's fine right now. You knew that was going to come back around at some point, especially with the show that Stanton has put on this series. He's hit everything, knuckleballs, curveballs, sliders, fastballs, up and out of the zone. You got to try and get in. They're going to try and get in under his hands today.
Yelich fouls it back. See, it's very different. Remember when he was even or almost open a little bit, he would fly open wide to the pitch.
Yep.
Now it's just an easy turn.
And that's exactly what you want. I mean, the backside is a lot easier to take a fastball, even a 95-mile-an-hour fastball, than the front side. There's a lot more going on the front side on your body than there is on the backside.
And Stan had no problem with it. You saw Flowers step out, and they had... So, Giancarlo at first. Yelich now with a count. Sitting at 2-1. And Sims misses out. And the youngster with a little bit of jitters here in his second major league start.
Well, and that's it. The Marlins bats have to wake up in the series. This isn't about Stanton. I mean, Stanton's now on first base, hit by pitch. I keep thinking how this series really has played the first 2 games. Think back late in the game. 3 walks led to 3 runs scored. Take advantage of Stanton over at first base and maybe get some early runs against Sims.
3-1 is out, and Yelich walks. And not only was it out, but he missed a couple times right in the spot where he hit Stanton while pitching to Yelich. So
yeah.
He's trying to dial it in right now. Miami has an opportunity early in this ball game to make their mark and do something. And here's Marcel Ozuna.
Now, this is one of the bats you'd like to see get going. He's had some nice at-bats in this series, just not a whole lot of love as far as hits are concerned. 1 for 8. That being an infield hit. He's been outstanding this season. 84 RBIs, 40 multi-hit games. That's a career high. 25 RBIs over his last 19 road games.
Got Stan at second, Yelich at first on a bright day here in Atlanta. And Ozuna cuts it the first thing he sees, and that usually prompts him to take a walk and regroup.
Well, and Sims knows that. Then he came after him with a first pitch breaking ball. You see Marcel give himself a little hit on the helmet there to remind himself not to expand. And Sims will lean on that breaking pitch, that curveball, if he's in trouble today.
Fastball, and Ozuna quickly behind the count, 0-2. Marcel had one of the best approaches outside of Stanton's against the knuckleballer R.A. Dickey in game 1. He waited on that knuckleball and blistered 2 line drives to right, but they were both deep and they were both right at Nick Markakis. Stan, of course, went 477 and 426. That was the best approach. Breaking ball, and Ozuna sprays it wide of first. A lot of the Braves legends are here for the whole weekend. They had more of them out on the field after the parade yesterday.
Great numbers. A little meet and greet here on the field before the game today. Shaking hands and signing autographs, taking pictures and doing selfies and all that other stuff you do with your cell phone.
Sims, quite young, just 23, out of Lawrenceville, Georgia. And it must have been a thrill for him yesterday to see all the Braves here, because he grew up going to Turner Field. He grew up idolizing Smoltz, Maddox, Glavine, all those guys. Smoltz especially was his guy growing up.
Well, Sims is a fun story. He's earned it. He was a high stock, high draft pick.
Ozuna gets a breaking ball, drills it deep left field. Inciarte back at the wall, and it's gone. And Marcel Ozuna puts Miami on top. The first runs the entire series not driven in by Giancarlo Stanton. And it's Marcel Ozuna, his 26th of the season.
Well, we talk about cashing Stanton in after getting hit by the pitch. Yelich takes the walk, and Marcel Ozuna cuts off a breaking ball. 1 at the top of the zone. Good to see. Big hit for Ozuna, who now has 87 RBIs on the season. He has been an RBI machine. Look at that breaking ball. Spins up. Look how short and quick that swing is. That ball's not supposed to leave the yard. Are you kidding me? That's about a half a swing right there. Impressive stuff from Ozuna.
JT Realmuto at the plate. That's called strike.
Rich, I'm almost convinced that was part emergency swing right there on Ozuna's part. He pulled that knob right through it. That ball got deep. It was in on him.
Real Muto, left field and deep. Back goes Adams, at the wall, back to back. JT Real Muto. The Marlins have been hoping to get some pop out of first base since Justin Bour went down, and guess what? They just got it, because Real Muto is at first base today.
Well, you stick the hottest hitter in all of baseball on the road at first base, right? That's how you do it. Had a big night last night, a couple of great base hits. Gets another breaking ball, just like Ozuna did. Check it out. Look where it is. Waist high. Rotation, rotation, rotation. Stays square through the point of contact and drives it out. Marlins are loving this start. This is a great start. Braves come into this one going for the sweep. Big first inning.
You see the reaction of Sims. He did not want to watch initially. He knew it. And the 23-year-old in his second major league start has given up a couple home runs. Here's Dietrich now.
You tend to learn pretty quick, Rich, where you cannot pitch at the big league level, and that is up in the zone unless you're bringing it. I'm talking 95 and above for the most part, unless you're setting it up, especially with breaking pitches. He will not survive hanging curveballs and sliders above the waist to big league hitters.
Dietrich pulls it wide. That second pitch that was called a strike was below the strike zone, and it's something the Marlins have had some issues with in this series. Tyler Flowers is one of the better at framing, and he has a tendency to snatch the ball up with his glove. There have been a couple of balls already, and the Marlins dugout has barked. That's a line shot right at Freeman at first. And Dietrich hits it hard. That's the second out. It'll bring up AJ Ellis.
Sims gets to another breaking ball, and I think that's pretty much the tell of this first inning. Dietrich all over the breaking ball, hard hit. Fortunately, right at Freddie Freeman.
So this combination for the Marlins today: Ellis behind the plate, Real Muto at first. AJ will work with Jose Urena. Miami has 4 on the board right out of the box.
Well, and this is a good combination. Rich, you mentioned it, needing a little bit more maybe out of first base. AJ Ellis has been swinging the bat very well, so it's kind of twofold. You get Real Muto over there at first. AJ 302 over his last 12 starts, so he's swinging the bat really well right now. This Marlins team needed some offense coming in.
And so now the adventure will begin for Real Muto, and that is a start at first base. He's come in for an inning or two, but today is the real test.
Let's hope that word is not adventure during the course of the ball game. You're right. That's me over at first base. It would have been an adventure.
I asked Perry Hill today about Real Muto, and remember in spring training, JT did work at first. He did get some game time there at first base, and Perry Hill's assessment was very athletic and very smart. He'll figure it out.
Right. A piece of advice I was given the first time I was thrown in at first base: just knock it down and throw it to the pitcher. He's always covering the base.
Ellis lifts that one in the air, right center. Hits it pretty well. Inciarte squares it up and makes the catch. 26 pitches, 2 of them leave the yard, and it's 4-0 Miami. With a home run to left center field. A 3-run shot. JT Realmuto a solo homer. And now the Braves go to work. This is the lineup that Jose Urena will face. Ender Inciarte ready to launch. He's in the leadoff spot. Brandon Phillips at third. Freddie Freeman at first. Nick Markakis at right. Tyler Flowers having a great offensive year behind the plate. Matt Adams gets to start in left. Johan Camargo at short. Ozzie Albies at second. And Lucas Sims will hit ninth. It's a Braves offense that in the 2 games that the Marlins have played against them has been productive and has come up with big hits when they've needed it.
Jose Urena, his 18th start of the season, 3.82 ERA. Standing stuff. His last start, best of 2017. There you go, I said it. 8 innings, 3 hits, an earned run, 6 Ks versus the Nats. 102 pitches, 63 strikes. He is looking to do everything he did in that last start today against the Braves.
Fastball misses, low and in. And the count is 1-0. Now, Urena's numbers as a whole against the Braves, not real good. A lot of that damage was done in prior seasons. His 2 starts this year, and certainly he's having his best year of his career, an ERA of 3 in 12 innings.
Well, despite the numbers against the Braves, outstanding on the road this season for Urena. 6-0, 4.22 ERA.
Two balls, 2 strikes to Inciarte. In the air to left. There's Marcel Ozuna in left. On his way out to left field during the break between innings, he stopped and he was talking to Adam Hamry, the third base umpire. Brandon Phillips, that got Ozuna right in the face. I think that was playful. At least the intent was playful. I don't know if that's what the conversation was about. Ozuna had a smile on his face.
He did, and I think so. It's one of those where, you know, you're kidding with your buddy, and then it unintentionally goes too far. You know what I mean? You kind of like, you know, I'm going to flick you, but I flicked you way too hard, and you're offended now, right? I think that's kind of what happened right there. You wouldn't want to throw dirt into anybody's face. I mean, obviously, but he was just kind of playfully kidding with him at first.
And Ozuna may have stopped and talked to Hamry about last night because Hamry worked behind home plate. So you never know.
Yeah, it was probably a short conversation, like he didn't like his strike zone last night. Just moving on.
Urena. That just plenty of the plate and right above the knees. That first pitch was in, and that's why Phillips had a short discussion. Bill Miller is the home plate umpire. Todd Tichenor at first. Nick Lentz is at second. And Adam Hamry is the third base umpire.
It's a great sign if Urena is going to get the 2-seam fastball with some action and some movement. A little more space underneath the hands of the right-handed hitters. Boy, that's a pitch he so desperately needs just about every start.
Slow tapper. Dietrich will cut in front and make the throw to first in time. Nicely handled over there at first, I might add, by JT Realmuto. Here's the defense.
All right, there you go. Marcel Ozuna, Christian Yelich, Carlos Stanton back in right field. Dietrich, Rojas, Avilas gets the start at second base for D. Gordon. Realmuto, it's fun to say, over there at first base. Jay Ellis behind the plate. Urena on the mound.
Did you see Realmuto there?
Yeah, there's a lot of communication. There's some the first few games for JT. There's going to be a lot of overcoaching.
Freeman a liner to center. Yelich tracking is there, and he makes the catch. And Urena, a nice tidy 1-2-3 first. 10-pitch inning. 4-0 Miami. On to the second. On top, Mike Aviles, Jose Urena, Miguel Rojas. For the Fish, Lucas Sims wobbled in the first, and after he got Rojas to fly out, first pitch hit Stanton in the back of the left leg. He was wild to Yelich and walked him. Ozuna took him out on a hanging breaking ball, and then Real Muto followed up with a solo shot, also on a breaking ball. And here is Aviles, who gets the start at second base.
Some good at bats for the Marlins already since returning to the big club.
Aviles, a guy that can play all over, made his mark in the big leagues at shortstop with the Royals originally.
Solid defender, situational approach to hitting. He'll do whatever you ask him to do. Drop down a bunt, hit behind a runner. He'll even hit a pinch home run if you need him to every now and again.
The check swing, Sims off the mound, on over to first. And it's out number one. If you're into superheroes, your favorite superheroes will be on Friday, August 11th on Marvel Superhero Night. Get a special event ticket. You'll get the limited edition Hulk bobblehead with a Marlin logo. And the first 6,000 fans get an exclusive Marlins Avengers t-shirt. Marlins.com/special events. Urena takes in. Jose, always a bundle of energy, whether on the mound or in the box. A little jumpy there.
Jose likes to get his arms extended. He does not. It's funny how pitchers operate sometimes to me.
Even
well, like his body language, right? But what do we know about Urena? He loves to pitch to the inside part of the plate, particularly against right-handed hitters. So he gets a few pitches in the inner part, in the kitchen just a little bit. He wants no part of it.
Swing and a miss. And it's 2-2. Got him. Breaking ball. Urena strikes out. Sims has 2 outs. And here comes Miguel Rojas. The loss last night, the loss on Friday for the Marlins, knocked them down to 6 games under, 51 and 57. The ball club had played so well, having won 9 of 13 and 6 of 8 to get to 4 under. And so the loss is damaging for the Fish in their attempt to get to 500. And the Braves are just a half game back. There's that curveball you've been talking about with Sims.
A little more confidence in it here in the second inning. It was a rough pitch for him in the first. Caused him some grief.
News around baseball today. Known in Miami and certainly liked in Miami a lot. Yonder Alonso traded from the Athletics to the Mariners for minor league outfielder Boog Powell.
Wow.
That doesn't seem an even swap, does it?
I don't think that it is, just in terms of player value, but the truth is that this is a bogged down first base market. And a lot of guys having tremendous seasons at first base. For a few names that were out there wasn't a whole lot of trade partners because most teams have it covered.
Rojas fouls it off. And Powell is a minor league player and a younger player, and Oakland's pretty good at identifying undervalued assets, so to speak. That's a really nice addition for Seattle.
You could pair him with Valencia, and you got a pretty nice lefty-righty platoon.
Rojas feeding souvenirs right now.
You know, that's the one thing about this game against Sims. His fastball, 91, 92 miles an hour. Rojas is doing right now with 2 strikes, able to defend it. He's going to have a hard time at the major league level, probably putting hitters away with his fastball. Really needs to lean on those secondary pitches.
Fastball misses in. Here's the twist to that trade. Powell was originally drafted by the Athletics. 20th round, and then traded to the Rays. Rays then traded him to the Mariners. Now he's back in Oakland. Full count, 3-2. Rojas gets into one, center field. Inciarte in flight, and there, and makes the catch. Sims goes 1-2-3 in the second. 4-0 Miami early in Atlanta.
Is presented by the authority of the Miami Marlins. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and the descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Miami Marlins.
All right, all the legal ramifications have been explained. 4-0 Marlins. Marcel Ozuna, 3-run homer. JT Realmuto, a solo shot. Second inning for Urena. And Nick Markakis, who's been a thorn in Miami's side ever since he put on a Braves uniform. Last night, RBI double. Game 1, 3-run homer that changed the night and helped the Braves win that ball game 5-3.
And long, lengthy at-bats that get paid off by Markakis getting a hit. You see 2 for 8 in the series, 4 RBIs. They also had a double. That was last night.
Center field, Yelich. And on the warning track, ball seems to be carrying pretty well. It's a warm day here in Atlanta, upper 80s for the temperatures.
No wind.
No winds. There's chance of rain all over the state, but it's all in little bits and pieces that are flying through the hemisphere, so to speak. It's as good as I can do for a weather forecast. Here comes Tyler Flowers. Flowers a starter in game 1 and having just an outstanding offensive season. We coupled together the years of Flowers and Kurt Suzuki, and the Braves are getting unbelievable production out of their catcher position. Of course, the Marlins are getting unbelievable production out of their catcher position, but it's
he's the first baseman today. So.
Yes, he's playing first base. A.J. Ellis, as you pointed out, has been hot lately. He handles the plate. Realmuto at first, his first ever start there. His second major league game there, which is kind of a misnomer. I think he appeared for an inning in a blowout. But he worked on it in spring training. He was a shortstop in high school, so ground balls, no worries. Urania comes in and misses.
Flowers 351 last 12 ball games, 432 on base percentage. You see why he's in the middle of this Braves lineup. Tremendous production. I thought he had that one. He's done a nice job, even going back to his last start, commanding the low zone. Love to see it when Urania uses the changeup and the fastball in the same lane. He's actually showed that to Flowers. Went changeup almost down the middle of the plate, but down and right about there. And then he went right back there for a fastball. Was able to pick up a couple strikes.
Now Urania in this ballpark, the Braves certainly remember it. Hit 3 Braves on June 18th. A couple of lefty bats, Adams, Markakis, also hit Suzuki. A few of those were breaking balls. Here's the 3-2. That one pops shallow right. Look at Rio Muto make the play. No worries.
Never had a doubt. Just like a wide receiver in football. Ball over his head. Quick pursuit. Slight glance back over the right shoulder and able to bring it in.
Well, I'm sure as a quarterback in Oklahoma, remember he won a 5A title, ran kind of the spread option, but possibly they had one of those plays where hand off and throw back to the quarterback. Here is Adams. That may have been why Urania was so jumpy in that last at bat. There's a ground ball to second. Aviles fires to first. Well, Jose Urania looks sharp here. A 1-2-3 second. Swings 3 homers, 1 near homer from this series.
I'm telling you, it's so much fun to watch him when he is like this. And he's been doing this now for a little while. He's locked in. That's a knuckleball. 477 feet to straightaway center field. Okay, I did it once. Why not? Let's do it again. See a little tumbling action on the knuckleball. There's another one. Let the ball travel, let it get on top, and then just explode it. This, to me, is still the most impressive. 96 miles an hour at the top of the strike zone. And then you look over there on the last one, a breaking ball. That, in fact, is the next swing he takes after the home run last night. You want to talk about locked in? Stanton is as hot as he's been all season.
Stanton hit in the back of the left leg, right in the hamstring area on the first pitch he saw. 1-1, and Sims misses in. So the pattern for Sims, obviously in with fastballs and then breaking balls away. And Stanton takes in again, and it's 3-1. And if I'm the Braves, I'm pitching in the same way. I don't want anything near the plate after watching these last 2 nights. Breaking ball gets him strike 2.
My guess coming into today was that the Atlanta Braves were probably going to avoid Stanton at all costs and put pressure on the other Marlin hitters to start stepping up and putting some offense out there. Well, fortunately for the Marlins in the first inning, they did.
Fastball foul back. Count stays at 3-2. If you're just joining us, Sims was wild in that first. He did hit Stanton. He walked Yelich, and then Ozuna pumped one out on a breaking ball. Looks like Stanton's going to get one of those here. Oh, fastball. Diving stop. Phillips fires and got him. Brandon Phillips has won Gold Gloves at second. He's getting his first taste at third base this week. And so far, he looks pretty darn good there.
Yeah, 5th game over at first base. Hard hit off the bat of Stanton once again. Step and a dive by Phillips to the line over the bag. Proving that his arm is strong enough to get it across the diamond with something on it. Nice play.
Here's Yelich now. Yelich walked back in the first. You got Ozuna coming up as well.
Sims has been able to settle in a little bit more after that wake-up call in the first inning. He's retired 6 straight. If you're wondering what the 83 is, he showed it a few different times. That's his changeup. He's starting to trust it a little bit more. Didn't throw it too many times in the Dodgers game.
Washington, D.C. tomorrow. Chris O'Grady, Max Scherzer back. His neck is better. Marlins saw him last week. 6:30 start. Marlins live. Three-one. Now Washington, D.C. tomorrow night. It's a 4-game series against the division leaders. The weather report tomorrow has some rain in the D.C. area. Three twos out, and Yelich walks for the second time. That'll bring Ozuna to the plate. It also brings us our T-Mobile Unlimited Baseball break. Let's go back to last night. The Dodgers just keep rolling. Last 50 games, the best 50 stretch since 1912. And Pablo Sandoval, we talked about it last night, back in the cleanup spot for the Giants, who won. He was 1 for 3 with a double. Drew Pomeranz wins his 11th game, and it ties his career high as Boston beat the White Sox 4-1. Here's Ozuna, Yelich at first. First inning. Watch where this pitch is.
Watch how deep it gets. This is impressive stuff, people. Listen, when you hear guys like me talk about home runs and extension, that's usually how it goes, hand in hand. Through a baseball, getting those arms extended. Marcel Ozuna basically hit that ball out with getting almost 0 extension. He merely cut that curveball off from almost hitting him. Pulled his hands through and really just finished the swing. He is a strong, strong man in the upper body.
Fastball's in.
Example of those quick hands you talk about all the time, Rich.
Yeah, bat speed. When he got to the big leagues, a lot of scouts who saw him for the first time marveled at the bat speed that he had and has now. He has the best bat speed for the Marlins, and he has that ability to hit that pitch in on his hands and keep it fair, which is seemingly an art form for right-handed bats. There's a few guys in history that were really good at that. The best that I ever saw was Edgar Martinez in Seattle. Yelich dives back. Marlins Don't know a whole lot about Sims and his move to first. This is just his second major league start. Flowers has not had a good year throwing the baseball behind home plate. That's 17% caught stealing. Ozuna, slow roller. Phillips gets it out there. Albie's turn is not in time. And Ozuna beats it, and that buys an at bat for Real Muto. Now, after the smoke cleared from the Ozuna homer, Real Muto stepped in.
Smoke had barely cleared. Here's another hanging breaking ball. JT Real Muto showed up ready for work today. Gets all over it. Put into the bullpen. Great swing of the bat. 13 on the season for Real Muto.
Marlins were looking at the review at second, whether Albies had his foot on the bag. And they've told the home plate umpire, Bill Miller, they're good. So no challenge. Impressive to watch Real Muto right now, because in his position, keeping a good first half all the way through the second half is really hard, because catchers wear down. Oftentimes you see August and September numbers fade. But JT has kept the numbers up. The slugging percentage, the on base, as you noted, 13 homers now.
Nothing about his body language is even hinting at fatigue or even wearing down. He looks solid. I saw him this morning. I mean, he jumped on the bus. He was ready to roll. He was looking like he was spry, ready to get after it today. I don't know if he knew he was at first base. Maybe he was a little bit more excited, but you're right.
Smacks it into center field. That's a hit. Ozuna to second. And Ciarte to a knee to pick it up. And he likes this first base stuff. He's hit it hard twice. He's 2 for 2. Needs a double and a triple. Then he'll have really an in-game jackpot, much like the Florida lottery. On the road, Real Muto on top of a list that includes Daniel Murphy. Tommy Pham's having a really nice season and continues to get better and better. Justin Turner on that list as well. Now Dietrich, who scalded one right at Freeman in the first.
He's really been putting together nice at bats lately. Had a good ball game last night. Couple of hits, 11 RBIs over his last 9 games. Opportunity here with a runner in scoring position. That's kind of the one thing that's really gotten lost, Rich. I know the Marlins offense here has been a little slow the first couple of games. Obviously not today. But that lineup length, when this team was really rolling in July, top to bottom.
Little pop-up brings Phillips over. And it's out of play.
Top to bottom of the lineup, you get just tremendous production. JT Real Muto almost at times hitting in the 7 hole in the lineup, and you just get lots of pressure on the opposition. Right now it's a little top heavy, but Dietrich's starting to pick it up, and his lineup is lengthening back out again.
What was that fan holding? It looked like a batting helmet, and I don't know if it was ice cream or nachos. And that popped foul into the seats. 0-2. Dietrich fouls it back. Here's the previous foul ball. Now watch the fan. Look at what she's got next to him.
That's got to be nachos.
You think?
Yeah, too early for ice cream. Nachos.
Yeah, I think if it was ice cream, she'd be eating it a lot faster because it'd be melting.
Right.
Good audio here with our technical crew, and you can hear Bill Miller quite clearly, the home plate umpire. 1-2 to Derek Dietrich. Marcel Ozuna at second. Realmuto at first. And Dietrich goes down, hits one out to center field. Inciarte is there and makes the catch. Bottom of the third coming up in Atlanta. 4-0 Miami.
Taking home a souvenir if you can catch a foul ball, but if you forgot your glove at home, no worries, because here at SunTrust Park you're going to be able to rent a glove at the Mizuno Glove Experience. This is how it works. You stop by, you give them your card, they're going to put a $1 hold on it, you rent your glove, you return it at the end of the game. Now, Vicki, I've had a lot of foul balls hit at me this weekend. Can I rent this one right here?
Sure.
Perfect. Guys, I think I'm covered.
Wow, that's a big glove. That is a big glove. And yes, we have determined that those are nachos. So they have a souvenir and they have nachos. Ice cream would not last in a big helmet like that today.
Those are nachos.
That's, yes. Nacho Grande.
Those are her nachos.
Jose Urena back to work. Johan Camargo takes a fastball outside. Panamanian infielder has done a really nice job. Dansby Swanson's slump and troubles have been an opportunity for Camargo. Swanson right now in AAA trying to get it together offensively. And Urena falls behind at 3-0. Jose has retired all 6 that he's faced. He's got Albies and Lucas Sims, the pitcher, coming up.
Margo, a couple of walks in last night's ball game, 1 for 6 in the series.
JT Realmuto looking like a seasoned vet over there at first base. And there's one out in the third. The ballpark pass for the rest of the season, just $29.99 a month. And you get access on your mobile device for all the games. Great matchups, giveaways, bobbleheads, t-shirts, all of that. And it's for less than $3 a game. More information, just download the MLB.com ballpark app or visit marlins.com/pass today.
Well, Rich, why would it be more difficult for JT over at first base? Listen, game slowed down a little bit.
Albies, left center, that's deep. Ozuna at the wall, reaches up and makes the catch. Man, did that thing carry.
Sure did.
And Ozuna may have knocked the wind out of himself. And that is our Bonefish Grill catch of the game.
Well, we've seen from Albies a lot of big swings, high leg kick. Almost got this one out of the yard. Ozuna, nice line to the ball. See a little peek back, saw where the wall was at, gave it a little leap and makes the catch.
He's on one knee right now, just trying to get that wind back in. Looks like he's okay. For great fish, great cocktails, great times, and great catches, go to a Bonefish Grill. Here is Sims. Urania trying to follow up on what Todd Hollinsworth termed as his best start of the season. 8 innings, 3 hits, a run against a really good Nationals team. Walked 1, struck out 6. It's hard to argue. And the Marlins will see the Nationals, though Urania won't, pitching here on Sunday. The 4-gamer starts tomorrow night. Washington has had their hands full with the Cubs at Wrigley this weekend. That game just underway in Chicago. That's strike 3 called. Urania has retired all 9 that he's faced here in Atlanta. And the Fish off to a 4-0 start. We're in Atlanta, and of course the Marlins are headed to Washington, D.C. South Florida Honda dealers, get you ready for tomorrow night. It's a 6:30 start. Craig Minervini, Jeff Nelson, game 1 from the Capitol. The return of Max Scherzer and Chris O'Grady, a hometown start for the George Mason starter. Now, the question yesterday here in the broadcast center in Atlanta was, would Craig Minervini bring donuts for the crew today for Marlins Live? And
well, we're busy splitting up your share of the bet amongst the other 10 of us.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate part. Is I felt that Craig finally would see it in his heart to reward the hardworking women and men of Fox Sports Florida with some donuts as they gathered together as one, a well-oiled machine on a Sunday morning to present Marlins Live. And I've lost my bet. Here's the 1-1 pitch. It's pulled down the line
to the surprise of,
and it's foul. And
very few.
And I never should have. Obviously, I was delusional when I made the bet.
I think I even tried talking you out of it.
Yeah, you did. But a tip of the cap to Chelsea, the technical director for the show. Chelsea was able to stop, bring in some nice breakfast treats for everybody. And so Chelsea picked Craig up. There's still time. There's 2 months left in the season. There's plenty of Marlins Live Sunday episodes or some day baseball where the crew's going to need a little nourishment, a little pick-me-up. So there's still time. A.J. Ellis in the air. Pops it behind second. Camargo is there, and he makes the catch. Fourth inning here. If you're just happening by this ball game, the script for the Marlins and the Braves has been Giancarlo Stanton goes deep. Giancarlo Stanton drives in runs. Marlins have a small lead and then lose it in the late innings. And that's followed both Friday and Saturday. But in this ball game, a little bit different script. Marcel Ozuna, 3-run homer. JT Realmuto, a solo shot on back-to-back pitches. And that was the first inning. It's a 4-0 lead. Wait a minute. First it was a helmet full of nachos, and now it's ribs. That one is smacked in the gap off the bat of Mike Aviles. Cutting it off is Inciarte. And Aviles will hold at first. And that'll bring Urania to the plate with an opportunity to try to bunt him into scoring position.
Nice swing of the bat from Aviles. Drive into center field. Continues to make the most of his opportunities to play.
Urania misses on his first attempt. Very athletic is Urania. Not a bad bunter. And when he gets it down, he usually flies up the line. Aviles attaching that wrist guard. Oh, and 2.
Well, Sims has gotten what he's wanted from Urania first couple of pitches. It's Urania to get out there and start jabbing at it. Rule of thumb, good bunt. You almost want to catch the baseball as it's making its way into the hitting zone. There you go. That's what you want. Square on a little earlier.
Pull back at just the last minute, and it's 1-2.
Kind of, sort of, maybe. No. He was thinking about it. He's having a hard time picking up the slider off of Sims.
Remember, Miguel Rojas is leading off. D. Gordon not in the lineup today. And that will be a strikeout. Foul tip on a bunt, and second strike. And so Urania is out. That's going to bring Rojas to the plate. Lots of baseball today. East Coast games are all underway. Milwaukee playing an important game in St. Pete against the Rays. Rays have a 1-0 lead there. Important because the Cubs had that half-game lead in the Central. As we noted, the Cubs and the Nationals are still in the first inning at Wrigley.
Rojas, a couple of fly balls this afternoon. Hit the ball center field his last time up. Hit it pretty well, just short of the track.
Hits it hard. Albies is there to get it. And the little second baseman from Curacao throws him out. Still 4-0 Miami. A Jeep. By Hankook Tires, chase down your passion, never halfway. And by your South Florida Chevy dealers. That's out in the Battery, which is the neighborhood village that has sprung up next to this ballpark. Office space. Some very cool shops and restaurants and such. And on a hot Sunday, that's important to have that fountain going. Urania stopped his delivery. Inciarte's at the plate. And Jose misses down low. Brandon Phillips, Freddie Freeman will follow. Top of the order for the Braves.
Inciarte, a fly ball his first time up, riding an 11-game hitting streak.
Lines it down the line, and it is a fair ball into the corner. Inciarte has got extra bases. Leadoff double, first hit. And the Braves have a runner in scoring position.
They'll make that 12-game hitting streak. 20th double of the season. Inciarte, front foot down early. Fastball elevated. Barreled a ball down the left field line. See it just inside the foul line.
So Brandon Phillips, who bounced to third back in the first. Inciarte at second. And Urania misses in.
Keep an eye right here. This is a key at bat, not because it's Brandon Phillips or the score is telling you something closer. Urania hasn't been in the stretch yet this afternoon, so this is the first time here with Brandon Phillips. See that tailing two-seam fastball right out of the gate. One thing that's been real impressive with Urania over the last couple of ball games, the in-game adjustments that he's made. He loses a pitch or something's not working right, and he's been able to get to his changeup or his slider. He's been able to pick up some strikes with those pitches as well. He's been confident and consistent. Good tempo, good rhythm. Really everything working for him right now.
Aviles there to get it. Robs Phillips of a hit. Every weekday morning, Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp go head-to-head on the hottest sports topics of the day. Undisputed with Skip and Shannon, weekdays from 9:30 to noon Eastern, only on FS1. Here's Freeman now. Freeman on Tuesday was moved back to first.
Freeman's missed a lot of time this year with the wrist fracture. Still having a very solid season. 20 home runs now. 5th time in his career. Exceptionally good with runners in scoring position. .415.
Bryce Harper and the Nationals. Marlins live tomorrow, 6:30. Freeman pulls that one hard but foul. Giancarlo Stanton leading it off. In the Marlins half of the 5th with Yelich and Ozuna. Stanton hit by a pitch. On an 0-for-1 day so far. Runners in scoring position. Just about every number you pick out of the hat for Freeman is impressive. Whether it's an on base well over 400, it's a slugging over 600.
What they didn't show you right there. How about this, Rich? His on-base percentage with runners in scoring position this year, 600. When he's being pitched to, he's been clutch. When he's not, he's taking his walks.
He takes a walk here. And the Braves now first and second with one out. And here comes Markakis. Well, Markakis is steady as they go, and has been throughout his career. Has big hits against the Marlins in this series. The 3-run homer in game 1, the RBI double in last night's game. Love the strike call by Bill Miller. And so does Urania, because that one looked like it was just a bit low.
I was enjoying the fan who picked up on that. Yelled at the umpire, told him it was low. Markakis picked up his 2,000th hit. It was a very, very nice career on Thursday versus the Dodgers.
It's a Georgia native. So to come back here and play for the Braves after a nice run with Baltimore has got to be cool for him. And ever since he put on the Braves jersey, he's hurt the Marlins. And it started on opening day, his first year in 2015. Michael Buffer said, let's get ready to rumble. And it was Markakis who did the damage.
Markakis, a very, very good hitter, has been throughout his career. Flashed more power early on.
2 RBIs and a 2-1 win.
No surprise there. Markakis has been a very good hitter with runners in scoring position this season, not just against the Marlins.
6 for his last 9 against the Marlins in this spot. 2-1 coming. Hit hard of Vilas, flips, Rojas turns, Real Muto there to finish. That would be 4-6-3. And a super time for Urania to get a double play. On right field. Crowd expected in the upper 20,000s here. 27, 28,000 is what they expect. Giancarlo Stanton strolling to the plate. Stanton was hit by a pitch in the first and bounced to third. Brandon Phillips robbing him of a hit. '23-year-old Lucas Sims, his second major league start, gave up 2 homers in the first. Marcel Ozuna and JT Realmuto. Stanton swings and gets a piece of a breaking ball.
It's about the first time we've seen this series Stanton get away from his game plan there, out on his front foot, swinging in a first pitch breaking ball. Seen 36 home runs, leading the leaderboard. Impressive run in the 2-hole of this Marlins lineup. Wrap your mind around this, Rich. 25 home runs in 61 games in the 2-hole in the lineup.
Stanton, a soft swing produces a firm line drive into right field. And a good piece of hitting. And as we've talked about, this is a year where, even though he's blasted 36 homers, he's much more of a hitter than a slugger right now.
Well, just kind of wrap up this series. I mean, not that this game's over with, but think about where all the hits have gone, including the home runs. Center field, left center field, right, with the base hit. Just tells you where he's at mentally. It was very interesting. He talked about, I think it was 2 or 3 weeks ago, he talked about how confident he was in his approach and how much he's learned this year. It's great stuff from a guy who's been around the game for a little while, who's got a long multi-year contract, who's still trying to improve his game and get better at what he does.
Look, the comparisons to Judge and Stanton are natural. You expect that. The biggest difference is Stanton arrived in the big leagues at a much, much younger age than Judge did. Pitch misses out. It's fun to watch both of them. It certainly was fun in the home run hitting contest, and it's fun every day when Stanton hits a homer or Judge hits a homer to watch it. Yelich just walked twice. That's a pop-up. Adams makes the catch. Brian, our audio technician here, is terrific. He has mics everywhere, and every now and then his microphone picks up something we didn't want to hear, so we apologize for that, but we do not apologize for Brian. He's terrific. Geico presents this day in Major League history. Tony Gwynn got to 3,000, the late Tony Gwynn, in a win over the Expos in Montreal.
In classic style, you see there on the bottom line, 4 for 5, 4 singles, right?
The game misses him.
Greatest hitter I was ever around.
And equally so, a great ambassador of the game. I mean, how many guys who have done what he did, accomplished what he accomplished, the money that he made, decide to go back to his alma mater and serve as the head coach at San Diego State? And it wasn't Tony Gwynn just shows up on game day and signs some autographs and lets everybody else run the team, man. He was in there.
No, that wasn't his style. He had a baseball conversation. He had a hitting conversation waiting for anybody who asked. In fact, most of the time he gave his advice freely.
Ozuna, a home run and a ground ball out. He fell behind in the count 0-2 in that first inning, and Lucas Sims threw a breaking ball that started almost behind Ozuna, and he hung in there, and when it came around, Ozuna's bat was ready and hit it out to left center. Count 2-1. Giancarlo Stanton at first. Wow, it's a strike. Ozuna didn't like it. Let's take a look on Fox Tracks. That low strike has been problematic for Bill Miller, and many people point to Flowers being a great pitch framer. And as you saw on that pitch, he has the ability, or at least the tendency, to snap the glove up.
Snatches it, makes that glove look like it's at the bottom of the zone. It's like it's a strike. Call it stealing strikes, if you will.
In the air, Freeman is there, and he makes the catch. Nice play by Freddie Freeman. And Ozuna's still shaking his head right now. That's got to be hard as an umpire, right? That low strike.
Certainly is. Look at Freddie Freeman backtrack. Concentration right as his leg hits the padding. Still able to make the catch.
This is Ozuna coming off. And he's not the first. There have been a few.
It's been an ongoing conversation, Rich, really all series long, between Marcel Ozuna and the home plate umpires. There's been some low strikes that he has not been happy with, and more times than not, we show you on Fox Tracks, he's right.
Here's Real Muto.
I've got that as the 4th missed call on Ozuna that he's actually said something to the home plate umpire about. Second time today.
Two 2-0 to JT. Real Muto has blistered the ball twice. The solo homer on a breaking ball to left, that was in the first, and then he lined a fastball right back out into center field for a hit. So he's 2 for 2 in his first base debut as a starter. Sims gets by him, but Albies is there, and he gets the out at first base. Miami leaves a runner halfway through. It's 4-0.
The ATL Brew Lab at the Terrapin Tap Room. Now, obviously, a tap room is going to be known for brewing beer, and that's exactly what they do here. But I've got to tell you about one beer in particular that they brew because it is really cool. It's called the Chopsecutioner. It is exclusive to the Battery here at SunTrust Park. And how about this? It is made with actual wood chips from Mizuno bats. Yeah, you heard me right. Wood chips from Mizuno bats. It's going to be hoppy. It's going to have a little bit of an oaky flavor to it. How cool is that? The Chopsecutioner at the Terrapin Tap Room here at SunTrust Park.
With bits of baseball bats. That's nice. Real Muto handles a pop-up. Urania gets the first out of the bottom of the fifth. I just hope that there's no pine tar involved in the making of that malted beverage.
Sounds to me like you can throw just about anything in there. Maybe? No?
Yeah. Hops, whatever,
baseball,
whatever it takes.
That would.
After Flowers popped out, Matt Adams in the box. Johan Camargo is next. Urania misses. They count 1 ball and 1 strike. The Braves have just 1 hit and a double by Inciarte. Urania has walked 1. That was Freeman in the 4th. He has had Atlanta off balance throughout the ballgame. Not a big strikeout game here. Just 1, and that was the pitcher, and that was looking.
So far, the big moment in this ball game was that 4th inning. Leadoff double by Inciarte. Just real nice job. JT Realmuto went out after the walk to Freeman. Little conversation, able to get Markakis to round into a double play.
To left, Ozuna's there, and he makes the catch. The Rockies are coming to town. That's the next homestand for the Marlins. 110 on Sunday. Pick up the Aquafina family 4-pack starting at $84. 4 tickets, 4 Nathan's all beef hot dogs, 4 Pepsi soft drinks, or Aquafina waters. For tickets, visit marlins.com/Aquafina. A strike to Camargo. He bounced out back in the 3rd. A lot of fly ball outs here for Urania. 8 of his 14 outs in the air. He had the double play grounder from Markakis to end the 4th. He's comfortable right now at 56 pitches. How about that? 56 pitches through 5 innings and a 1-hit shutout right now in the ATL. Great time coming back for the All-Star game. A lot of friends and family in the house. And now he's with the ball club that has a shot at that wild card. Of course, there's probably half a dozen that have a shot at that wild card in the American League. And Seattle certainly right in the middle there.
I always felt like there was an advantage when you get traded to a team inside your division. He's got good numbers against his division. He's been playing really well. Should certainly benefit the Mariners.
There's Derek Dietrich. And Dietrich takes a strike. Dietrich, A.J. Ellis, Mike Aviles in the 6th against Lucas Sims. Dietrich gets that one off the end of the bat. Markakis back, looking up. It's off the top of the wall. On his way to second. The throw's a good one. He's out. That ball sounded like he didn't get all of it, and yet it still carried to the wall.
Now carried off the top of the wall. Markakis played it beautifully. Dietrich hustling all the way. We talked about the hanging breaking ball an awful lot today. Pretty good extension. See the top hand come off the bat. Watch Markakis. That's a good read by a right fielder. One hop, clean. Watch this throw. Hello. Wow. No room for error.
Yeah, I think he's safe, and I think the Marlins are going to challenge. It was a great play by Markakis.
It certainly was. I think you're right, though. He was in. It looked to me like he got in there. I got him safe.
That's a tough one.
Well, from behind I have him out. In front I have him safe. Does that help? No.
That view looks safe.
Right. But that's the problem,
yes.
right? From behind he looks, oh, maybe the glove got him. In front you're like, oh no, he's safe by a mile.
Dietrich still has the helmet on, and he has to recline right in front of the umpires who are looking at Dietrich as if they're deciding his fate.
I think this is a classic example. You've mentioned throughout the year that they have the technology now to take different angles and kind of combine the imagery.
Right, with time code.
To bring it together. Right. I think this is going to be a classic. Hey, got it. There you go.
He's safe. Good work by Ed Lucas in the replay room.
Boy, Ed. Right behind the scene, from behind it looked a little bit more misleading. In front.
Did I mishear that ball off the bat? It just had a weird...
I'm with you, but I've thought that a couple different times today, including one of the home runs where I thought, boy, that didn't sound like he got all of that.
It's a double. And let's see if Miami can get him over and get him in. Any insurance in this series is a welcome addition, having watched the last 2 nights and the 2 Braves comebacks. All right, let's listen to the swing just to see what we heard. It had a
weird
hollow sound to it. But it worked.
I know one person that agrees with you.
Lucas Sims.
Lucas Sims.
Sims at the knees with a strike, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. That's that low strike that the Marlins have been barking about. I don't know if that one was in or out. Fox tracks to tell us.
Closer than other ones.
That's a good point. That's a very judicious way to say it. Two balls, 2 strikes. Marlins have 2 of their 3 catchers in the lineup, with Ellis behind the plate, Rio Muto getting the start at first base. And there's another helmet full of nachos. Bouncer to the left of Phillips, across the diamond to get the out. Miami unable to move Dietrich to third. Here comes Aviles. Fox Supports is proud to team up with Girls on the Run in their dedication to empowering young girls and instilling confidence through running. Learn more about how you can get involved by visiting foxsportsupports.com. Aviles singled in the 4th, bounced out in his first at bat.
has really dialed in the low zone after the Dietrich double. Virtually every pitch to A.J. Ellis down around the knees. First pitch strike to Aviles, same spot. See that grip in his.
There's that pitch again.
Look at the glove. You see how the glove is fanned a little bit. You can see from behind the changeup.
Aviles, Phillips putting on a clinic at third.
Phillips on his toes. He knows the changeup's coming. Make the play. That'll get Urania up to the dish.
Well, Urania has struck out twice. On the season, he is 2 for 29 with 15 strikeouts.
These just have not been going his way this year.
So what you're saying is they're due to drop? What are you saying here?
I don't know. I'm hoping. I think. Tough to get lower than 069. I'm not. It's not a dare. I'll say what I've been thinking for quite some time. We talk about this a lot with Urania, not just on the mound. He's a great athlete. He shouldn't be hitting 069. That's what I'm getting at. Down 0-2. Seems looking to get through 6.
Lays off the breaking ball.
Bullpen activity for the Braves. Jason Mott throwing just off the disabled list.
And Urania strikes out. Sims does go 6. But those 4 runs Miami got in the first are standing up.
Is known as the Sandlot. It has got so many awesome features, including zip lining, which is right behind me, and rock climbing. Now, last time around I did the zip lining. I crushed it, obviously. So this time I'm going to try rock climbing. And once again, I've been told that this is intended for children, but that's never stopped me before. It's not going to stop me now. Let's do this.
Good.
One of my favorite areas here at SunTrust Park is known as the Sandlot. It has got so many awesome features, including zip lining, which is right behind me, and rock climbing. Now, last time around I did the zip lining. I crushed it, obviously. So this time I'm going to try rock climbing. And once again, I've been told that this is intended for children, but that's never stopped me before. It's not going to stop me now. Let's do this.
Good.
She never ceases to amaze. The adventurous Jessica Blaylock. Well done. In Atlanta, Braves, Marlins, Jose Urena, Lucas Sims matched up. Marlins jumped on Sims for 4 in the first. Braves have not been able to get anyone across against Urena, who's been absolutely terrific. Ozzy Albies, the pitcher spot, and Ender Inciarte here in the bottom of the 6th. Remember his last time out, he went 8. That was against the Washington Nationals. And this was the time of the ball game yesterday where Dan Straley ran out of gas. So I'm sure Don Mattingly with a keen eye on Urena. You saw that dark stuff above. Marlins are trying to beat the Braves and beat the rain, because there is rain throughout the city and in the state, but it's passing by in pockets. Left field and deep. Yelich on the run and there, and that's the second time that Albies has hit a ball out to the wall in left center field.
Well, I figured it worked the first time. Why not try it again? Gave him something to get his arms extended on and drove it out to the warning track.
All right, all Fish Family season ticket holders, renewal season is upon us. A lot of things planned for the 25th anniversary next year. Marlins.com/renewals, the place to go. Chase Peterson gets the at-bat for Sims. Peterson, former Padre prospect. And the Braves still have hopes for this athletic young infielder who was a two-sport star at McNeese State, football and baseball. Sliced his bat in half there. The barrel split.
Down the middle. Get a new one. Now for Sims today. A pretty nice job for the Atlanta Braves. After giving up 2 home runs in the first inning and 4 runs total, he's able to keep the Marlins off the scoreboard the rest of his outing.
Hit well. Stanton by him and to the wall. Off the warning track, he'll pick it up. Chase Peterson's got a double. Second hit and second double for Atlanta today.
Throughout this series, Braves pinch hitters have been getting it done. Drives it over the head of Stanton. Hops it back in. Hustling all the way, easy double.
Inciarte into the box. He's flied out and doubled. That's in. Chris O'Grady, Max Scherzer tomorrow night. Vance Worley gets a start on Tuesday. It's Adam Conley Wednesday. And then Dan Straley pitches the last game in Washington on Thursday night. Inciarte finds the gap. And that's going to give Atlanta their first run of the ball game. Back-to-back doubles here. And a 2-for-3 game for Inciarte with 2 doubles.
Back-to-back pitches for Urena, nearly the same spot to a couple of left-handed hitters. Inciarte rips it into center field. Yelich able to cut it off and hold Inciarte to a single. Braves now on the board, down 3. Reason for Urena to be laboring. The that's the issue. Just the command has not been as good here. Start the 6th.
Now Brandon Phillips is bounced out, lined out. Miami's bullpen is starting to stir. The sliding glass doors, you know, when they open up down in these bullpens, that's when guys are coming out. Marlins pen down the left field line. I think it adds a little bit of mystery to who's going to get up and throw. It's like who's coming from behind those sliding glass doors.
Right.
Please welcome Harlan Garcia to the bullpen. Phillips got jammed on a really nice pitch by Urena, and Rojas makes the catch. Now Freeman, who's lined out and walked. The Braves have the Phillies coming in here on Tuesday. And the Phillies have owned the Braves lately for whatever reason. In fact, I believe the Phillies swept Atlanta in a 4-game series the last time they met. Yeah, in fact, just a week ago, the Braves and the Phillies met up in Philadelphia. And the Phillies won all 4. Urena, 70th pitch is up. Dark skies above. Wind is starting to pick up. Downtown Atlanta is obscured by rain right now.
No longer visible.
I think we're about 10 or 11 miles from downtown. Two and one. Freeman had an opposite field home run last night. So he's a guy that's always had great plate coverage. There really isn't a spot on the plate that you can go to get a guaranteed out against him.
If you get far enough in, he'll pull the ball on the ground. If you let him get his arms extended, though, that's when you really start to see that power.
And Urena gets the strikeout. And down goes Freeman. Change up and a good one. Plenty left in the tank. Braves get a run, but Miami still leads it 4-1. open up the doors of that Hall of Fame. 1973. The class of '73 was Clemente, Billy Evans, Monty Irvin, George Kelly, Warren Spahn, and Mickey Welch. There was this date in 1973. And of course, the mandatory 5-year waiting period waived for the tragic death of Clemente. Here in Atlanta, 25, 26, maybe 27 in the house. And Jason Mott comes in. Marlins saw Mott in last night's ball game. Stanton hit that double off the top of the wall in left center. Rojas bunting, pops it a little bit. Mott gathers and throws him out. And so a reunion with Mott and Stanton here. Stan's day started with a pitch off his hamstring, his left one. Fastball that came in from Lucas Sims. He then hit a hot smash down the line that Brandon Phillips made a diving play. Throw to first, and then Stan hit a line drive into right for a single.
Very nice series here in Atlanta. Now 5 for 10. 5 RBIs. 5 homers, 9 RBIs versus the Braves this season.
Little chopper towards short. Camargo, that's bang bang. Stanton called out. Marlins have a successful challenge already today, and I'm sure they're looking at this. Let's take a look.
Camargo double clutches, getting the ball out of his glove, bobbles it just a bit, has to re-tap and gets one across. Looks like he just got it there.
Kind of stuttered his step. That's a hard for a runner. Todd, is it as you approach the bag, sometimes you're off step, aren't you?
Now, bigger guys, I had this problem every now and again, and obviously Giancarlo Stanton, I'm not comparing myself to him, I'm just saying we have big strides, and when you get those long strides and sometimes your steps will be off as you get closer to the bag, you shorten up so as to not hit the edge of the bag awkwardly.
Yeah, you see that often with players that lunge for the bag or reach for the bag. They really put the ankle and the knee in a precarious spot.
I'd rather see Stanton do that right there than the alternative.
Mott over to first. A tradition on Sundays in Atlanta is God Bless America. Timothy Miller, if you've not heard him sing before, is an opera singer here in Atlanta. And we always enjoy this. This is really a treat. There's Miller coming on. So enjoy this, folks, on a Sunday in Atlanta. Timothy Miller and God Bless America.
Let us all be grateful for a land so fair,
as we raise our voices in a solemn prayer.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above, from the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans, white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America. my home, sweet home.
Ladies and gentlemen.
How cool is that? Timothy Miller. 4-1 Marlins. Bottom of the 7th. It's coming up. Miami on top. Little Toyota Inside Look brought to you by the all-new RAV4. On the road since the 1st of July. Fisher 3 over, scoring runs, hitting homers, ERA not so bueno, 5.5. And it's been a little bit of that here in this series so far. Marlins hitting homers and scoring runs. Giancarlo Stanton has hit 3. Marcel Ozuna today a 3-run homer. JT Realmuto with a solo shot. But the Marlins have lost the first 2. Trying to get game 3 and up 4-1. Harlan Garcia enters the ball game. He's got Nick Markakis, Tyler Flowers, and Matt Adams. Jose Urena, 6 innings, 3 hits, a run, 3 strikeouts, and a walk. Garcia misses in. Garcia's an intriguing guy because he's been a starter for most of his professional career, and the Marlins have liked him out of the bullpen.
He's been very effective.
To left, wind is carrying, and Ozuna has to make a reaching catch. We told you about the swirling winds, and that's a great example of it.
Now this turned into an adventure in left field. Garcia makes his pitch. Markakis hits this okay. See Ozuna. That route was a little bit shorter, and you see he has to reach back over the top of his head to make a nice catch.
Yelich was on him pretty good. And it's odd. I mean, you see the flag out there, but we've had wind gusts up here in the booth, and you feel it in and around the ballpark.
Right, it's unpredictable. You, as an outfielder, you have to continue to grab a little bit of grass and see which way the wind is blowing from hitter to hitter. Especially when you have storms in the area, many times those winds will start to swirl, and it'll do different things even in an inning. So as an outfielder, you got to stay on top of it. The center fielder is always communicating with his left fielder and his right fielder about how the wind is blowing.
Count 0-2 on Tyler Flowers, who's popped out twice to first baseman JT Realmuto. You know, I wondered with Realmuto at first if Say Garcia gets in a jam and Ellis trots him out. You think Real Muto's instinct is go to the mound as well?
Why not?
You'd have 2 catchers there.
No big deal.
Hey, look, Real Muto's on Ellis right now for not catching the ball. Everybody's a critic, right? Dietrich got to hurry, does, and gets him. Nice play.
Nice stretch over there. Yeah, certainly. Played by Dietrich. JT having good timing over at first base as well. Start that stride till the ball was on its way.
I think it's safe to say that Real Muto's had fun over there, right?
I kind of mentioned this a little earlier in the ball game, and I was thinking back to after good run in the outfield, 6 years, I was thrown over at first base under similar circumstances. Wasn't sent over there to play regularly, but I remember how the game sped up. But I kept thinking about JT Realmuto. I look forward to talking to him about it after the game today. I bet the game is a little bit slower over there, which is a great thing. Remember, he's behind the plate all the time. He's used to being in the action, and it's obviously very fast. When you're over at first base, it's probably more comfortable, a little bit slower. I was coming from the outfield to the infield, and boy, it sped up quick. I was used to those extra seconds out there to be able to make plays and do what you do. At first base, it's somewhere in between.
How quickly did you get back to the outfield?
As quickly as I could. Of course, the day I did it, I was in Colorado for the first time. I was with the Dodgers, and the Rockies had a slew of left-handers, including Larry Walker. He was playing in short right field. Wasn't too happy about it.
Adams with the count 2-1. That one pulled foul. That crunching noise that you hear is not someone eating those nachos in the front row. We've seen a couple of batting helmets full of nachos today. That's the on-deck hitter. To get the great sound, you're going to have microphones down around the plate. Sometimes you pick up the on-deck hitter. Those are his spikes in the dirt. Bouncer, Real Muto. Looked at the mound, put his hand up, said, I got this. And he has. He's had a nice day out there at first base. Narration there.
Why would he do that? It's not like he bought them for anybody.
Even Jeff Nelson has brought donuts this year.
There you go.
Braves go to their bullpen here. Jason Mott handled the 7th. Jose Ramirez Appearing now for the Braves. Marcel Ozuna, JT Realmuto, and Derek Dietrich.
Jose Ramirez, hard-throwing right-hander.
$29,600 in the house. Now, back in June, Ozuna and Ramirez had this confrontation. Not many people can hit a pitch that far in, out.
Well, when he's looking in, he is so dangerous. Now, he doesn't always do that. Again, any hitter, you can't really cover both sides of the plate, but when he's looking in, if he gets in, watch out. It's almost a guarantee he's going to do something big with it.
Saw the both teams were wearing the Father's Day outfits.
Right.
Braves and Marlins, both Father's Day and Mother's Day opponents. Lucas Sims went 6 innings. Miami got him for 4 in the first. And Ozuna, a big part of that with a 3-run homer, and he strikes out here to open up the 8th inning. Really busy day in baseball, obviously on a Sunday. A lot of games going on. Cubs 2-1 over the Nationals in the 5th. Brewers in St. Pete 1-1 with the Rays. Brewers a half game behind the Cubs in the Central. St. Louis all over Cincinnati 13-3. Cardinals trying to mount some sort of a charge. It's top 7 in Cincinnati. Pittsburgh in that same spot. They're up 4-2 over the Padres in the 7th. If you haven't heard, Yonder Alonso traded from Oakland to Seattle for a minor leaguer, Boog Powell. I'm curious, and I haven't had time to actually research it or read up on it because it's happened while we were on the air. But when a trade happens after the non-waiver deadline, Realmuto pulls it, foul. Obviously, Oakland had to put Alonso on waivers.
Right.
Now, we didn't have to clear waivers with everybody because in descending order, worst
Correct.
record to best, those teams can put in a claim. And I'm curious to know if Oakland put in a claim, because at that point, then the two teams can talk and work out a trade, or if he cleared waivers with everybody. I doubt he cleared waivers with everybody. And you, following the national scene for Sirius XM for many years, your take on that?
Yeah, and I'm sure it sounds about right. That's usually how it goes this time of year, especially an impact player like Alonso. You have to remember he's in the last year of his contract. He's away from free agency. So anybody really could consider him. He's not breaking the bank wherever he would land. So if you wanted to stop it or you wanted to block it, that's a possibility. If you were interested, you certainly could make your claim. I mean, there's different motives from the team that's looking to acquire him, but I think specifically the Mariners really were looking to improve their first base situation. They had not had very good numbers over at first base, and Valencia pairs with him nicely.
O'Grady and Scherzer tomorrow. Max Scherzer, of course, had that neck issue when he faced the Marlins and pitched 1 inning after homering. Remember that, a 3-run homer in a 6-0 lead. Miami came roaring back and got the win. And Miami won that series against the Nationals. By the way, Seattle is beating Kansas City 7-2.
I believe they have 2 games today. It's a doubleheader.
Maybe there's time for him to get there for the second game. He's not in the first game. Dietrich drives that right center field, hits it deep. Inciarte at the track makes the catch. A 1-2-3-8 3-run lead, bottom 8 for Miami. A reminder, get a $6 value for $5 when you ask for the grouper from the Florida Lottery with so many life-changing prizes. Get your group ready. The Florida Lottery, it's your ticket. Claim it. Must be 18 or older to play responsibly. That vintage footage there from Todd Hollandsworth's boy band when he was at Newport High School in Bellevue, Washington.
My overalls, is that right?
Yes. Actually, in your neck of the woods, that was Soundgarden and Pearl Jam at that time.
It sure was. I'll tell you what, that was the sound. Pearl Jam was just taking off, and Soundgarden, everybody.
Junichi Tazawa, it was 6 innings of Jose Urena, and again he was outstanding. A run on 3 hits. Harlan Garcia went 1-2-3 through the Braves. And that was in the 7th. It's bottom 3rd for Tazawa, Camargo, Albies, and a pinch hitter. That's a little low. Although it may have bounced up into the strike zone.
Yeah, I'm not sure Lowe's. I'm going to go with short.
A good pitch framer, I'm telling you, a good pitch framer may have preserved this strike.
Is that, from my perspective, a good 4 or 5 feet out in front of home plate?
I'm disappointed that it didn't show up in the strike zone on Fox Tracks. Fox Tracks apparently caught it when it bounced 50 feet in front of, or 50 feet from the mound, 10 feet in front of the plate. 2-0 pitch. That looked like a high strike, and that may have been one the Marlins got back, and it was.
Pitch for the first pitch? No?
No. Maybe a few of the low ones.
Right.
So the count 2-1.
Tazawa scoreless outing his last time out, pitched in the Nats series. First time here in Atlanta.
Two balls, 2 strikes. By the way, Aaron Judge has hit his 35th. A 3-run homer, and the Yankees are beating Cleveland 8-1. Giancarlo Stanton has 3 in this series, is 1 for 3 that hit a single. So stands at 36, Judge now at 35. 2-2 again. Aviles makes a nice play. MLB.TV every night, every day, every device, every out-of-market regular season game. #1 app for live baseball. Blackout, other restrictions apply. MLB.TV. I just figured I'd do all bullet points on that one.
I like it. Clean and simple.
Ozzy Albies.
A couple of deep fly balls to left center field today.
He has some pretty good pop. He's not big, 5'8", 155 pounds. He ran through all the great players from Curacao and the Dutch Antilles, players that have played for Netherlands in the World Baseball Classic, and he's that next generation coming up. They all seem to be middle infielders and really good ones. Sends it to right. Stanton is there, and he makes the catch. And the Braves have had a pretty good history of players. Now, of course, Andrew Jones is the hero to all of those guys. I mean, Jones was the pioneer to come up and star for the Braves. He's an interesting debate when it comes down to the Hall of Fame, but a terrific Brave, a World Series hero for them.
with Albie's home run, his first hit, his first big league hit, first big league home run all at the same time. He's the youngest player since Andrew Jones to homer.
So other players from Curacao that have played for the Braves: Jones, Andrelton Simmons, of course, Randall Simon.
Good name.
Well known in Milwaukee. And Jair Jurgens, remember the right-hander? That one fouled back.
First at bat for Danny Santana in the series. Come in for defense.
Danny Santana fouls it off. Santana came over from Minnesota. He had been in that organization for 10 years after signing as a 17-year-old.
6 for 28 on the season as a pinch hitter. 8 RBIs. This Braves team has got some pinch hitters for you.
How about that? 1, 2, 3 bullpen outstanding here. 6 up, 6 down. 3 outs for Harlan Garcia. 3 more for Junichi Tazawa. Baseball on Fox Sports Florida is brought to you by Southwest. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. By Jeep. And by your South Florida Honda dealers. Alumni Weekend. Nuxie in the house. There's Andrew Jones, John Smoltz, Brian Jordan, Uncle Wes Helms. Andrew Jones can still swing it. Brian Klesko back-footing one. And Wes Helms captains one of the teams. John Rocker in the house. Look at those names. Lemke. There's Andrew Jones. Chris Hammond.
Pretty cool stuff for the Braves alumni.
Rex Brothers into the ballgame. Lefty comes out of the Braves pen. A.J. Ellis at the plate. Ellis shoots it to right, shallow. Markakis is there. And he makes the catch. A.J.'s done a nice job handling Jose Urena and a couple of bullpen arms in this ball game. Here's Aviles. saw Mattingly's lineup when he put pen to paper. Came out very different. It had Rojas in the leadoff spot. D. Gordon not in the lineup. A.J. Ellis behind the plate. JT Realmuto at first base. Brad Ziggler's up in Miami's bullpen. He will get, when the Braves arrive in the bottom of the ninth, not only a lot of tomahawk chops from the 29,000, he gets the top of the order, Inciarte, Phillips, and Freeman. And if anybody reaches, Markakis.
All the offense early in the game today.
Inciarte's got 2 doubles. Atlanta has only 3 hits. The pitch is out.
Nice job laying off right there by Aviles. Seen some good passes today. Base hit in the center field.
I'm going to issue through my spokesperson a retraction.
What do you got?
Inciarte 1 double. Jace Peterson has the other double. But Inciarte has 2 hits.
Back to back. They were kind of close. Very similar base hits.
On to first in time. Camargo throws out Aviles. And Tyler Moore gets the at-bat. Creative organist here in Atlanta playing the You're Gonna Make It from Mary Tyler Moore. It'd be much, I mean, if you really wanted to do that, it would be much more fun to do it in Minnesota, right?
Makes sense.
Two outs. That went foul back to the screen. All right, Jess, you got a story about the organist I'm hearing?
Yeah, next time we come to Atlanta, I'm going to do a sit-down interview with him, talk to him about how long he's been playing the organ, how he got his job here. He's so creative with his music choices, like you mentioned. My personal favorite so far, Immigrant Song for A.J. Ellis. Obviously, Ellis Island is where immigrants used to come through in New York. So I'm going to ask him how he comes up with all of these choices for all of the players that come in here. I think it's going to be a really cool opportunity to talk to him about his association with the Braves and his creativity as an organ player.
That, you know, Jess and Todd, that used to be much more prevalent before walk-up songs. It was the organist at the ballpark that got to choose the music. If there were a Hall of Fame for organists, Nancy B. of Dodger Stadium would be.
Nancy B.
She has retired. Tyler Moore right fields. Markakis wanders back, and at the track, he makes the catch. Brad Ziggler has a 3-run lead and 3 outs to get. Script from Friday and Saturday. With Stanton home runs, an early lead that disappears. Here, the Marlins got 2 homers from someone other than Stanton, and that was first inning. Marcel Ozuna, a 3-run shot. JT Realmuto, a solo homer, and those runs have held up. Brad Ziggler comes in, and this is his second save opportunity with the Fish. This is his first.
Yeah, some pretty good stuff. A little bit of trouble, had a couple guys on, ends up getting the last out right there, but had that late movement. Again, this is not a velocity conversation when it comes to Ziggler. It's the late movement that he needs. You want to see hitters out on their front foot. You want to see them fooled. Think back to April. He was outstanding. And it appears to my eyes that Ziggler's back. That movement's back, and good results could be coming.
So, it's not an easy road in terms of hitters. Inciarte, first pitch, little tapper, and Ziggler goes to first to get the out. Don Mattingly was talking about why Ziggler in this role, and he said there's 2 things. Number 1, he's done it before, so he understands the nerves and trying to stay calm. And he said number 2, guys in the 9th that are hitters are anxious and want to be aggressive and want to be the hero. And Mattingly felt that that would maybe feed into Ziggler and his ability to get guys out, because that's exactly what Ziggler's looking for, over-aggressive hitters. There's a strike.
You almost have to, if you're going to get at Ziggler, build an inning. He's not going to get, he's not the kind that's going to come in and give up 2 or 3 home runs or get turned around. He's more likely to give up a few hits.
Phillips, high chopper. Dietrich across the diamond. That's a really nice play by Dietrich.
It sure is. Well done. Derek Dietrich does a nice job coming in and getting himself set underneath this ball that chops right off home plate. That's what's so important here. Watch the time. Quick release. Well done. Any wasted movement, any time, he's done. Doesn't get him at first base.
And you talk to Perry Hill about turning double plays. The key is catch the ball at your shoulder so you don't have to reach for the ball and it's bang bang.
And you saw Dietrich there even almost start to turn his shoulders before even securing the baseball on the way down.
Look at Perry, always working.
27 outs, no more.
Hashtag.
Sorry.
Freeman fouls it back.
There's
1-1.
There's one of those big swings you're talking about that Don Mattingly was referencing. Freddie Freeman here. A little extra on that.
Now Kyle Bearclaw is maybe 5 to 7 days away. It sounds like everything has progressed with him, and he's a guy too that may get some opportunities to close. He certainly has that type of stuff, and many people have felt he was a very good minor league closer. Many people feel that he'll be a very good major league closer. And the Braves are down to their last strike here. Marlins live post game coming up. Freeman lines it into left field. And that's what I meant about, you know what I mean? Freeman is really hard to pitch to.
Yes, he is.
You go out and he goes to left. You go in, he goes to right.
Much like Marcel Ozuna, we talked this way with him an awful lot. Maybe a little bit big that first swing, but here's a 2-strike swing down 1-2. What does he do against Brad Ziggler? Leans out over the plate just a little bit, shortens up the swing, and just pokes it into left field.
Runner takes second. No stolen base. A strike to Markakis. Well,
hey, if you're going to get the first one, what do? You go right back out and get the second one. That's what you do. A little space around the plate. Any good pitcher knows it. And goes back out and gets a little bit more.
and he got him. Ball game. Miami wins it. Ziggler closes it. And the Fish, after 2 frustrating losses here in Atlanta, used the long ball for a 4-1 win. We wrap it after this.